Well, welcome to sunny South Australia. We're here for round 5 of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series at Mallala Motorsport Complex. It's fantastic to be here. Jared McLean, we've seen some incredible racing on day number 1, but we're here for the afternoon. This is where it counts.
Yeah, 2.6 Ks will be the arena for some incredible motorsport combat. It's a beautiful day, patchy cloud, but awesome conditions.
It was a little bit wet this morning, but it's warmed up to 19 degrees at the moment, and we're only going to see it rise a couple of degrees in temperature here this afternoon. The sun is out, the track's looking absolutely amazing. Our Formula Vs have been out on track. Well, it's David Reynolds at the moment who's dominating that.
Yeah, it's been really wild to watch him, and especially how hard he had to fight in the race we saw earlier today. Go back and check that one out. It is well worth the watch.
Innovation Race Cars. Well, Lee Stibbs has taken like a duck to water in that one, hasn't he? After the first race didn't quite go his way, he's dominated the next 2 races.
Yeah, after fumbling race 1, running out of fuel, redemption in the following 2 races with a great qualifying result late yesterday and getting him into the top spot, bringing it home on top.
Formula Ford, they've been a staple diet throughout our season this year, and they've done fantastic. Kobe Williams, of course, really in the struggle in race number 1, went down the pack, but he fought back in race number 2, and this is going to go down to the wire in the championship.
Lachlan Evanet just looks so in control, doesn't he? Yeah. These things, even though they're a handful out here at Mallala, he's just able to bring it home and just look so good while he's doing it.
The Legend Cars Australia, well, they went 4 cars wide into turn number 1. That reverse top 10 this morning was incredible to watch, but Dylan Thomas, who's fighting for a championship coming into this round, hasn't been lucky.
No, suffering an off-track incident, but the redeeming factor here was the CXC machine of Ruben Dan has been just about unstoppable. And
the Australian number 1, Ryan Pring, obviously with some mechanical issues this weekend, so he is struggling to get control of that car, but they're putting on some entertaining racing. Of course, the TA2 Muscle Cars that are right behind us, they're about to get out for their first race of the day.
Yeah, it was an interesting day yesterday with a couple of big mechanicals, mainly centred around the driveline transmissions. Jared Hughes had to replace a motor after a race 1 incident, which basically saw that car sit sidelined for the entire race, recording a DNF in that first one, not starting the second one, but able to come out and take our pole award today.
All right, guys, I'm Brad Gartner.
Joe Heinrich.
Going to take you for a couple laps around Mallala Motorsport Park prior to the Mallala Masters.
Coming on the straight, use all the curb.
Yeah.
What was that? Get after it. Nah, turn 1's a cool
There's
corner.
a lot of, you feel like every apex has a bit of camber, huge bump through here.
Us.
Love getting the full throttle here.
Yeah, this place is all about, this is part of the track. If there's passing, I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
It's so fast through 1 into 2 there.
Track position is probably going to be one of the most important parts. Yeah. Qualifying. Lucky enough this year we have 2 qualifyings, so you get your chance to redeem yourself.
Make a meal of it on the first day, you get another go. Nah, turn 3 is probably one of the trickier passing spots just because of the way that the corner's shaped. It's a bit of a late apex. If you can get down the inside, it'll be a good run down to the far hairpin. Oh, he's getting after
Using curb there, mate?
Look, that's classified.
Yeah. Flat through 4.
4.
Yeah.
This is 5? No, this is 4.
4.
This is 4. I've done a lot of laps here, I just don't count the corners.
Yeah,
or
definitely
count at 3. Biggest braking zone of the track.
I reckon this would be a good passing opportunity.
This is where all the carnage will unfold, I reckon.
Yeah. First lap carnage, turn 5.
Yep.
We're going to be stationary.
Yeah.
You'll be out P1 gone.
Look, ideally, but, you know, biggest come choosers. The big sweeper is actually a cornering something fast, isn't it?
Yeah, getting the full throttle there is actually a task.
Yeah.
It's not like the XL, we just hold it flat.
You hold it flat? No, everything Ultra is just flat. There's some hometown tricks here, but I'm not going to tell you.
No, come on, mate.
Come on, mate.
I'm trying not to show you.
This is about the only place you can use curves. Boy, he's up it. Getting onto the straight's tricky. It's so deceiving. All of a sudden, it comes up on you.
All right, time for you to have a go.
We're doing a quick drive change.
All right, show us how to do it.
All right. Turn 1. Fast corner.
Yeah.
Everyone brakes a lot. It's kind of
it's a big roll.
It's more of a flowing corner. You can just get just tipped in nicely on the camber. Really sucks you through there.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Big double A set turn 2.
Here.
Well, we got some push. Got some under push.
Under push.
Pick up the second apex.
Or the exit.
Or the exit curb. We're flat. This thing goes pretty good, eh?
Yeah, very good.
Turn 3, there's like 3 different lines you can,
Yeah.
you can do the Rule 8 one.
What line are you running?
I'm
Curb?
not telling you.
Curb or no curb?
We'll use some curb,
Use some curb.
Oh,
That's
she
it.
loves it, doesn't it?
Get it on it. It's cool. It's good to have life back at Mallala Motorsport
It is,
Park, isn't it?
100% it is. This place was an absolute gem back in the day.
I'm proper scared right now.
We're moving.
We're
We're moving. We'll get out of it a bit.
We're moving.
This place just creates racing. Like, there's only really 3 passing opportunities, but if you get it right,
it's going to create some desperation
100%
in the corners you can pass,
100%.
considering there's not many. Real bump and run track, isn't it?
It is, unfortunately, but there's a couple of corners there. Like, if you make a meal of Northern Hairpin there, making a pass,
absolutely.
you're screwed down here.
You're not really braking straight here too. You're sort of facing that.
You got to watch
left.
the camber. Like, the track's got so much camber.
The corners that have camber, if you don't get it into the apex on the camber, it's sort of buggy.
Yeah, you get a lot of push. Oh, that's backfire.
Oh yeah, a bit of backfire. The Hyundai and cars go right.
They do.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed your lap of Mallala Motorsport Park with Brad Gartner and Joel Heinrich. Hopefully, the 2 SA boys can put it up the front.
Well, it is very green here at Mallala at the moment. And doesn't it look fantastic? We're here for round 5 of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series. Good to have you back joining us. Our innovation race cars making their way out on this beautiful 2.6 kilometre track as they get ready to fight it out. 8 cars here this weekend taking part. As you can see, Danny Studdard just warming the tyres up yesterday afternoon. He had a little bit of an incident with Jeff Emery, which saw that car get a few repairs overnight. Just some suspension here. But let's have a look at some of the highlights of the race this morning. Now, Lee Stibbs in the Hi-Tec Oils, number 5 on the outside there, went to the lead very, very quickly. Now, Danny Studdard and Goodacre just rubbed tyres there for a fraction. We did see a couple of those marks on the cars down in the pits. Jeff Emery slotted into 2nd position. Donaldson, who moved up into 3rd very quickly, while we saw that little moment from Goodacre, and Studdard didn't hold on to that very long because Goodacre shot down the inside on just turn number 3 and managed to get that move done where he left it there. Now, this was the interesting battle for me, Dan McCarthy, as the door opened up for a moment with Emery and Goodacre tried to go around the outside. Emery, well, he quickly slammed that door shut.
He certainly did. There it is from the outboard. That was very, very tight there. Goodacre electing not to take to the grass and decided to slot back in line. Danny Studdard was having difficulties in the race earlier on today, and he just ran in a bit deep, allowing Brian Finn to take that position, a position that he would get back, but out in front. Lee Stibbs took a dominant victory from pole. He led every single lap, continuing to extend his margin. Great victory, his 2nd of the weekend.
So Lee Stibbs starts us off with Jeff Emery on the front row of the grid, followed by John Goodacre and Alex Donaldson, and the Axles Earth moving 111. Then it's John Hollinger, who came into this weekend with a series lead. Now that's diminished just slightly, and he's dropped back a position with Danny Studdard alongside. There's Brian Finn and John crossing to round out our 8 cars here this weekend. It's going to be a great start as our safety car leaves the track and we get this race underway. 25 minutes of this glorious innovation race car noise getting around the racetrack here at Mallala Motorsports Park, and turn number 1, where it's been super exciting in every category. Finn gets pushed a bit to the inside. We saw Lee Stibbs take to the inside, but he's got to cross just before that ribble strip because it can really unsettle the car, and they're so low here with all that aero hanging off the side and the rig. You don't want to go over there and make any issues there. But is this...
I think it's John Goodacre. It is John Goodacre who has gone around at turn number 1. So big drama there. A man who has really had the pace for the top 3 positions all weekend long has found himself facing backwards. So that promotes Grant Donaldson, or Axel Donaldson, as he likes to be known, up into position number 3 in the Mark II Mustang. So great start from him. Danny Studdard as well, a fast starter from 6th on the grid. He got past Brian Finn on the last lap earlier on, which meant that he's up a row. Here's a replay. Is it Donaldson in the side of Goodacre? It is around.
I don't know if there was contact, mate. He definitely got pushed to the outside.
You think that could have just spun on the dirty stuff? This will really tell us if there was contact down there at turn number 1. Yes, there was. Just a little bit, but when it's in the rear corner like that, it's very easy to rotate another vehicle.
And it's going to be awkward cleaning up the shed after this race.
Yeah, Donaldson himself was on the wrong end of the stick yesterday when John Hollinger, who happens to be the person that's behind him right now, the 2 made contact down at the turn 6 hairpin, and it resulted in the Mark Mustang facing backwards down there at turn number 6. So the Axles Earth moving machine will not want that but again, he'll want to try and keep the Hollinger Engineering IRC car directly behind. Great to see Brian Finn. He looks like he's found a bit of performance in this final race. He set his PB lap last time by, or PB sectors anyway. He is right on the tail of these two, which is fantastic to see him really take the fight after he was locked in combat with Danny Studdard in the race earlier on today. Donaldson there running a bit wide at turn number 3 and a bit deep, and that's opened the door here for Hollinger as they head down the back strip, the fast strip, down the Smithy Straight, as it's called here at Mallala. Smithy Straight. Up the inside, late on the brakes for Hollinger. Oh, he had a real good look there, but to no avail on that occasion. He certainly sent it up there, but Donaldson closed the door. Actually spoke to the man in position number 7, Axel Donaldson, in the Mark II machine about that very subject. He said, where is it that you're weaker compared to the innovation race cars, and where is it that you're stronger? And he says the sort of mid-corner rotation in the Mark II car isn't quite as good. The IRC car is very, very pointy. He has raced overseas in innovation race cars, so he's got a great comparison between the two. And he says this track is, whoa, we're big off, and there he is actually off the circuit. Just as I'm talking about him, he has gone off at a vast rate of knots down into the sand trap, and he is buried deep in there in the axle earth-moving machine. Unfortunately, he can't move the earth away from the tyres and get out there.
Do you think we can get a machine in to get him out? Do you reckon he could bring a machine that we could potentially dig him out of that? That is deep in there. Have a look at the dirt in the rims. Now, is that some mid-corner over-rotation?
Possibly, possibly.
That is unfortunate. Let's have a look at the replay right now. He's on his own, and is that the same where he missed the brakes last time? It's almost like they weren't there. There's lucky to pull that car up. That was very fast.
It was, wasn't it? Very, very fast off down there.
That looked way more violent.
Yeah, I don't think he's missed his braking point. I'm not sure what exactly has gone on there, but the one thing we do know is that car is very much beached in the gravel trap, so no overtaking down there at the turn 6 hairpin.
They'll start their final lap now.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Their final lap. The race leader, though, is half a lap ahead of them on the back section of the circuit. Of course, it is a small lap around here. We said, you know, they're lapping just over a minute, 68, 69, 70 seconds around here. It is a short, sharp lap, but yeah, he's about 35 seconds ahead of those guys on the back section of the circuit now. But out in front, Lee Stibbs is not going to come away with the round victory, but personally, he's not put a foot wrong, and he's going to take his 3rd straight victory in the Innovation Race Car Series. Lee Stibbs is victor in race number 4.
Yeah, Jeff Emery's got 8.5 seconds. Here he goes over the finish line there, and he'll grab himself a 2nd place, and that should secure his round win here at Mallala Motorsports Park.
But our winner, Lee Stibbs, by near on 9 seconds ahead of Jeff Emery, who wins his first round in the Innovation Race Car Series. Danny Studdard, category manager, or category founder, I should say, coming home in 3rd ahead of John Hollinger and Brian Finn. John Goodacre finishing in 6th ahead of the Mark I Focus of John Crossing. And of course, the story of that race, Axel Donaldson getting buried in the sand trap down there, and we can see it right in the foreground of the shot.
And after the final Innovation Race Car race for the weekend here at Mallala, that'll put Jeff Emery with a 16-point lead in the championship over John Hollinger. So the fight is going to go into the final round of the Hi-Tec Super Series at Winton Motor Raceway in about 4 weeks' time. It's in the first weekend of November, the Saturday and Sunday. Victory Lane's looking very busy down there. There's a little bit of a debrief going on between Daniel Gillison and Danny Studdard there in the looking at the 702 car. Let's go down to Victory Lane with J-Mac.
Danny Studdard has had an up and down weekend, but a great recovery on the bottom step of the podium for the final race of the weekend. Mate, a handy swag of points for the championship.
Yeah, quite handy. Finished the last race off nicely. It's been an up and down weekend, as you said, so pretty much tyre related around here, but yeah, happy to finish this way.
Well done.
Thank you.
And our round win goes to this man, Jeff Emery. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Obviously, all the hard work from the team, putting the car together from last round and coming out this round, and obviously starting off at the pointy end of the grid makes life a lot easier, because it sort of get tangled up in the rear-end drama. So, yeah, no, very happy with the result, and obviously thanks to all the boys for all the hard work, and thanks to Ross McGregor for lending me his car for the weekend. So, awesome job, boys.
Great stuff. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Lee Stibbs, congratulations on a fantastic first outing for the car, the team, and of course the driver, but not enough to clinch the round win. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feel good. Warm. I probably need to get a little bit fitter if I'm going to start driving these cars a little bit hard. So, but no, mate, had a fantastic weekend. Car went faultless, probably due to Hi-Tec oils, but yeah, no, went real smooth. Again, thanks to George, thanks to the boys. I had Chris Pither in the corner. I had Schultze in the corner. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have the weekends like this.
An A-grade team, an A-grade driver, but let's bring it home next time.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a model team down there for the Hi-Tec Oils Motorsports crew in the Innovation Race Cars. And we've got our TFH Legend Cars Australia not too far away. The excitement continues here at the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series in just a moment. Well, welcome back. It's great scenes here at Mallala as we get into probably the second half of our racing here this afternoon. We're well and truly into the thick of things here at Mallala. The sun is shining, and we'll move on to some more little legends, which they basically are. The TFH Legend Cars Australia lined up behind our Hyundai safety car as they're getting ready for their fifth and final race of the weekend. What I love about the Legend Cars is our top 10, where they switch them around in race number 3, really jumbles up the order. So this is how our final race is going to start. Ruben Dan being super dominant in the CXC machine while he's going to start out at 1. Aidan Williams now leading the championship alongside of him. Chase Tippett, who got on the podium in the last race, with Shane Tate on the second row. Dylan Thomas, who had a big moment there on the third row alongside the Australian champion Ryan Pring. So there's a couple of names there in the third row that could potentially, if they get their act together, really shuffle up that top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly many talking points in that one, of course.
Listen to most of them, all 3 cylinders now as they take off. I think there's one 4-cylinder left in the pack. And have a look at this. They go bumper to bumper. The Morse code already happening as they go down the main straight. 3 wide as they turn it in. Watch out for Maverick to fire off the back. They've got a brand new set of brake pads on that after a failure in the last round, which sent him off. So watch for him to move up the field, and he's up a number of positions already. Have a look at this on board with Shane Tate, though, who's a former Australian champion. The budget rentals entry has a shot down the outside, but Dylan Thomas trying to cover him off. Ryan Pring not too far away as well, just back there in 5th position. Ruben Dan, they've let him go already. He's opened up a couple of tenths, and watch him try and put the pedal to the metal and drive away with this one. Looking at the back of Tate's car, we just saw Ryan Pring alongside, and you can see the green wheels now on the front. Pring with a nose in front. The cars move around quite a bit. You can see the wheel movement there, especially under brakes. Aidan Williams needs to watch out. Dylan Thomas now, the number 68, trying to recoup some points in the championship. He had the lead coming into this round. Now he's got the work to do.
Absolutely. You said about Dylan Thomas, he made a blinding start from the 3rd row, and he went straight around the outside of the 2 ahead of him on row number 2 and took position number 3 as a result. Brilliant start from him.
Talking to Mark Duckworth as well, he said it feels like you're just rolling around the corner for so long with this sort of late apex on a lot of these hairpins.
Yeah. Oh, big hit from behind. Tate is clobbered by not 1 but 2 cars, so one tipped him into a spin, and then he gets hit again as he comes to a stop on the inside of the hairpin, riding on board with the driver of the 147 car, the budget car and truck rentals machine. Copped an absolute clobbering down there.
The question will be is who came in the side of him, and is there any damage to the car, because they do restart very easily. Let's have a look at the replay from the outside here. So Tippett's coming down on the inside, Tate on the out. Just missed that, so he hasn't made contact as the car's pulled up.
It was Riley Skinner who tagged him up the inside, the number 94 machine. Is that good pace this weekend? Maybe not the results to show it, but bang! into the side. It even rotates the camera, and you could hear Kemenaveri just scraping the rear. It sounded more like a hit, didn't it really? But Kemenaveri somehow got away with that.
I don't know if a car's actually come and touched him after that when he stops here. Oh, he's just copped a little bit. Hopefully Maverick doesn't have any damage there. Maverick, wouldn't he love just to be up there at the moment? But a few things are going to have to go his way as Tipper takes back on that 4th position. Dylan Thomas holding onto that 3rd, just looking at the winners in front of him, and Pring still on the inside here. Maverick will have a look around the outside. A lot of that Excel racing experience really playing dividends when it comes to legend cars, because they slide around much like that as well, and you've got to get that bump draft down those straights and use it to your advantage.
Absolutely. The only difference, one is front-wheel drive, the other one rear-wheel drive. They swing it on through turn number 1. Brilliant spot to watch these cars. We did it on Friday on the hill. Brilliant place to watch from. Is there a bit of an incident further back? Yes, there certainly is. The number 34 of Brett riding right up the side of Spicer. The number 33 of Spicer. Yeah, boy, oh boy, that was a big moment there. And through goes a couple of cars as a result of that. And in fact, Spicer has continued to fall down the timing screen since that moment. But there's certainly some wheels in the air there, that's for sure.
And it looks like we're going to start the final lap out here as Ruben Dan all under attack from Aidan Williams. And with that final lap out there being called, Aidan Williams has to put the 95 in the lead at some point. Wouldn't it be a racer if Dan could hold on at this point? 4 wins potentially on the cards from he's just missed out on 1 so far, but Aidan Williams will want the win. He's already got a race 3 win in that reverse grid race. He's had 2 seconds, a 3rd and a win this weekend. It's been a fantastic round for him. He hasn't missed a podium so far. Can the 95 green and gold do it?
It's really been a theme across all the categories this weekend of rookies really turning it on, whether that's Lee Stibbs in IRC, whether it's in TA2 with the likes of Joel Heinrich, and as well in Legend Cars. We see it on the screen. Ruben Dan is looking to take the win. Whoever wins this will win the round. It's going right down to the wire. Victory, race victory, and round victory as well. It is right here to play for with just 3 corners to go. Off the track goes the number 33 machine, just moving out of the way. But let's look at this fight. Ruben Dan goes ultra defensive into turn number 8, closing any opportunity off for Williams. He can't get the run out the corner, the number 95, and it is going to be on debut in the series, a 4th race win and the round win for Ruben Dan. What a performance here at Mallala.
1 point the difference in this round between Ruben Dan and Aidan Williams, but what Williams needs to take away from that, let's have a look at our race 5 results for the TFH Hire Legend Cars Australia. Ruben Dan with 4 wins now from 5 starts. Aidan Williams just behind him, misses out in a round win by 1 point. Dylan Thomas in 3rd. Big shout out to Maverick Kemenaveri, who came back into 5th position. Ryan Pring, like we say, just trying to keep that car on track this weekend. Riley Skinner, wait and see if anything happens out of that little nudge, whether there's going to be some ramifications a bit later on in this one. And good for Benny Goodridge to make the top 10 in the 97 machine. Bruce Duckworth, well, he said he was just getting out there to have some fun this weekend, but that's a great result from him, up in 12th position.
Aidan Williams and Ruben Dan able to outstrip Dylan Thomas in the Legend Cars here at Mallala. Dylan, here in Victory Lane, the weekend could have gone better, but it definitely could have gone worse.
Yeah, we certainly had our challenges this weekend. We snapped brake rotors on Friday, drive shaft on Saturday, and still got some braking issues where it sort of sticks a little bit, but to be fair, Ruben Dan in the other CXC racing car has been hot all weekend, and no one's been able to touch him, so super stoked for Ruben and for the team. CXC Racing provided me a pretty fast car. I guess the old guys got a little bit of polish to do because we didn't do the greatest job on our side of the garage. Congratulations to Aidan, you know, taking the championship lead off us this weekend, and you know, those 2 guys, super fast. I was just hanging in there.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
Aidan Williams, P2 in that race, P2 for the round. Dylan just said you're leading the championship now, and without a moment to spare, your car broke down as you crossed the line.
Yeah, it was pretty scary across the line because I thought it would have spun out, but that whole race just stayed consistent behind Ruben, pulling away from Dylan. He was there for a couple laps, and then we just pulled away at the end, so just staying consistent and trying to gain more points in the lead of the championship.
So heading into Winton P1, that's brilliant, yeah?
Yeah, that's really good. Hopefully we can keep it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ruben Dan with a fantastic result on debut. You must be ecstatic.
Oh, what an amazing weekend. I can't really thank anyone enough. My parents, Travis, Dylan for giving me such an amazing car, everyone for coming out to watch. Such an amazing weekend. I can't ask for much more.
Congratulations, mate. Soak it in. Well done.
Thank you.
But up next we have the Formula Ford Stars and Renegades Series. The stars of the future have really turned on the action this weekend. They have their feature race to finish things off, a 25-minute encounter that is ahead of us. 13 cars on the grid as we jump on board our Hyundai i30N safety car. Here is the grid then for this last race of the weekend. Lachlan Everett will be starting from pole position after claiming his third win of the season earlier on today. He beat home championship leader Kobe Williams, who had a great tussle with Joe Fawcett. There's a great battle from fourth onwards. Jamie Rowe, Isaac Demelweek and Will Lowing split by less than half a second. And then beyond that, just outside top 10, we have Brad James, Caleb Bellack and Tabitha Ambrose as they come around the final couple of corners. Rolling start in the Formula Ford Stars Series. Very unique to this championship. It was a little bit of a balk as some drivers keen to get going there. They have now gone. Green flag flies and we roar towards turn number 1. Brad James in the dirt there on the outside towards the tail of the field. But out in front, Kobe Williams has managed to sneak his way past. Gets past Lachlan Everett, and Will Lowing has done the same on Joe Fawcett. And in fact, Fawcett might lose out to another competitor on the run towards turn number 3. Yes, Will Lowing does go through up the inside. So Fawcett drops down to position number 5 as Matt Nolte joins myself, Dan McCarthy, back in the box.
Great start, wasn't it, from those front two, and even tightly bunched through the middle we go. Through that sweeper up towards turn number 6 for the first time. The feature race for the Formula Ford Stars and Renegade Series. Everett hanging tough on the outside in the Cam Quarry's 88 McGale chassis, and there's enough room left open here for these two to square off heading down this long sweeping back straight. It'll be a battle of who breaks first. You'd think Williams will have the advantage here, but it looks like the Townsville teenager might just hold on for a moment. They'll go side by side through the S's for the first time. Brilliant racing here in the Formula Ford Stars, and Everett gets it done. Good move.
You can see them both sliding out of the hairpin, trying to get on the power as early as they could. They knew they had to beat each other to the next corner, and it was Everett that responds, so he is back at the front of the field. But he did things the hard way, going the long way around there, but he's made it work. Great stuff from the Cam Quarry's drivers. Look at how close are they. They're all in one big long train. Half a second, the biggest margin between any gap into turn number 3 on the second lap. This is old school Formula Ford racing as they hit Smithy straight and through the kink of turn number 5. It's Everett, Williams, and then Jamie Rowe in position number 3. Joe Fawcett's having a little bit of a look, a little bit further behind on Will Lowing. Will Lowing has done a really good job to get this car back in this position. He had a real problem in qualifying. He came to a stop. He only completed just a couple of laps. Unfortunately, the bolt in the transmission meant that he could not select a gear. Basically his gear stick came out and had no gear. So unfortunately, he sat out most of qualifying. Despite that, still qualified midfield, moved forward in the race earlier on, and now in position number 4 in this one after making his way by Joe Fawcett in the opening sequence of corners.
The big question is, can they stay with the Cam Quarry's driver? He's been in some great form all weekend.
Despite a few lockups earlier on today, he did manage to get away with it and took the race victory. But once again, Kobe Williams is right on his rear gearbox, and he is going to be smiling behind the visor of that one, seeing his rival lock up with a significant moment down at turn number 3. That bodes well for Kobe Williams. Not only have brakes have been an issue, I should say, throughout this weekend. Yesterday, we saw both Fitzgerald and Tabitha Ambrose retire, and that's because they both lost brakes late on in the race, so that could be a factor at the end of this 25-minute race. Big braking zones, here, turn 2, turn 3, turn 5, turn 7, and turn 9. It is a hard track on brake. Oh, spearing off the road at a vast rate to knots. Couldn't quite see who that was.
And Bronio maybe at the back in 12th position. No, it's the 16, it's Salvatore.
Ah, it's a shame. He just lost the place back to Demelweek, and he was trying to get back through, I think, into the top 5. So Demelweek has recovered after briefly falling back to 7th. The youngster back up inside the top 5. So good job from him, but that's a real shame. Oh, we've lost a real sort of engine mount there on the back section of the circuit. Could that be from the Imbrogno car, or potentially from the car that we just saw off the circuit as well? So that's a big piece of debris anyway, but it's found a resting point on the grass, so out of harm's way.
We'll soon find out who it is. I mean, yes. An exposed engine somewhere out there at Mallala with this beautiful sunshine we've had over the last couple of days. A little bit of breeze out there, and the player comfort conditions just spectacular as we go into another lap. The first 4, it hasn't been like this all weekend. We've had 2 two-car scraps, but now the top 4 covered by nothing. Here it is on the replay, and just straight on for Salvatore. I mean, that car didn't even look like it was going to turn, and he's decided to go straight on. So this is where the cover has come off, perhaps. Yep.
Ah, yes, there it goes. And he's also set lap record last lap as a result. Under a minute that last lap time.
So it's starting to heat up. Already the highway code signal given from Caleb Bellack. And they're swarming around the work zone. Green and black 56. Johnson could be the big winner out of this trio of cars in a few moments. And remember, they're down in 7th, 8th and 9th position. So it's not a battle for the win, but anyone thinks there's $1 million carrot being waved in front of him right now.
It's clearly gone off the carrot. It's bright green, not orange, as he goes through turn number 2. He is defending hard, and Jeff Gretsch did say to them, who's one of the men behind the series, he did say you can block on lap 1 and the final lap, as somebody's gone off here at the turn 3 hairpin. Lots of dust kicked up. That's more than 2 wheels. I think somebody's gone all the way off the road. I'm looking to see who's falling down on the timing screen. The replay may give us an answer. Is it lowing? It is lowing. Just caught the top of the blue machine, or the white and blue at the top machine, running wide. An unforced error throws away a top 4 finish.
And look how quick Evident and Williams have gone away. Here they are with 2 minutes remaining. They were so similar in their lap times. Williams has decided this is it. We need to go for it now. Set himself up for that last lap lunge. Either down at 3, the top of 6, or on the way down to the S's. 3 genuine chances here at Mallala.
The question is his championship on his mind. Does he think, I'll go for second? The answer is no. He slings it up the inside, ultra late on the brakes. It's Kobe Williams side by side. They leave each other just enough room on the exit of the corner. They're side by side through the sweeper and on the run towards turn number 8. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? Evernet forcing Williams to the inside of the circuit, all the way to the white line. Williams back up the inside there, but Evernet is still there. He's got the inside for 9, but Williams on the switchback through the S's takes up the race lead. What a fight.
Worked hard for the gravy then, didn't he? That set up at a turn 3 and spent the next 3/4 of a lap trying to get the pass done. And now the pressure is on Evernet. Can he retake the lead? Check it out on the replay. This is further down the field with Bellack, Fitzgerald and Jack Johnson, and contact. Hand up from Johnson and puts Fitzgerald to the back of that group. In fact, he's dropped down to 12th position. No doubt nursing a wounded number 56.
That was one of the nuances of that double apex corner, really. It's a late apex, sorry, I should say. And they've both gone at apex at a very different time, and that's the result. They collided. Here we go, though, back on for the lead. Lachlan Evernet in the Cam Quarry's car, the McGale chassis against the Spectrum. For years, it's been Holden and Ford in touring cars. In recent times in Formula Sport, Ford, it's Spectrum versus McGale. And it's the Spectrum driver that's leading the way at the moment, but the seconds, the laps are very much counting down now. But look at these two. They fought so hard that Isaac Demelweek is right on their tail. Look at him. He's just a car length behind. He could spring a real surprise here. If these two aren't careful and they're not looking in their mirrors, they could find themselves losing out here. This is a phenomenal drive from Isaac Demelweek. An incredible performance on debut in the Super Series Formula Ford Championship, doing a sublime job into the turn 3 hairpin. Evernet's looking for a nice run out of there, and I'll tell you what, he judged that to absolute perfection. He nailed the exit of the corner, the long run down the back stretch.
And time is running out. A handful of turns remain. Demelweek, the one to watch out. Evernet has to cover him off at the same time. He's trying to make the move on the series leader. 4 cars throw a blanket off them coming out of this second last run on the way down to the S's. Demelweek has no role in this series. He wants a victory in his first weekend. Down towards the final turn. Williams covers him off. 2 turns remain.
Toby Williams comes around the final corner using the curb, sliding it through there, and he is going to hold on and take yet another race victory, but he hasn't fought that hard in quite some time. What a battle between he and Lachlan Evernet, and in the end the top 3 separated by just half a second. Fawcett backs it in, a challenging race for him, but he did limit the damage. He moved up late on to finish in position number 6.
And another lap or two could have been a different story. 12 wins, counted 12 for the ACM Finance team, and does it by just under 0.2 of a second. Demelweek 3rd, Rowe 4th, Will Lowing 5th.
Indeed, yeah, he'll be kicking himself with that mistake that he made at turn 3 late on. He finishes in 5th, as you say, ahead of Joe Fawcett. Caleb Bellac, the youngster, finished in position number 7, beating Giuseppe Imbrogno. Beyond that, Tabitha Ambrose finished in 9th, ahead of her teammate, Brad James. Outside of the top 10, it was a bit of a tale of woe. Jack Johnson having a little bit of a collision there with Fitzgerald late on. They finished in position number 11 and 12 as a result. And of course, Hunter Salvatore with his issues, a DNF. And J-Mate, you're down there with our podium finishers.
I am indeed, and it's actually quite deceptive how tall the young Isaac Demelweek is when he gets out of the kart. Congratulations on debut. A brilliant weekend for you.
Yeah, it was mega. Had a bit of issues through the weekend, dragging a bit of throttle. Ironed out that one and the thing was on rails. So yeah, huge thanks to the team for getting the car out after that crash yesterday. Yeah, mega.
Well done, mate. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, just to prove how much hard work that was, Lachlan Evernet, have a look at this, guys. Him and Kobe comparing blisters. That was a long, tough race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty long. You sort of went to the start of the year, you know, 25, 30 minutes in these cars was really tough. But, yeah, produced good racing. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite grab the win in that one. Kobe's done an amazing job in that, and getting past me, I couldn't quite get him back. So, yeah, I was really happy then, much more consistent than yesterday. Yeah, come second, I'm still really happy.
You've had a brilliant weekend. Championship's going well. We'll see you at the next round.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you very much.
And winning the feature race, Kobe Williams, congratulations. It was a hard fought fight to the finish, but well done.
No, thank you. Yeah, Lachlan was just really, really fast, and I was just having to push as hard as possible and not make any mistakes, and I just got there in the end, which was great.
Congratulations, mate. Where to from here?
Yeah, we've got Phillip Island next week and then Winton in just over a month's time, so looking forward to getting there. Just a big shout out to my sponsors. None of this is possible without them, so thank you.
Fantastic. Well, don't go anywhere. We've got TA2 Muscle Cars coming up right on the other side of this.
Hi-Tec Oil Super Series back in South Australia and back at the iconic Mallala Motorsport Park. What a day we had here yesterday in round 5 of the Super Series. The Mallala Masters. And Joel Heinrich is certainly showing him up in this one, his first weekend, alongside Jared Hughes for the final race of the weekend in TA2 Muscle Cars by Maritimo. And they're ready for a 20-minute wrap-up after a quiet race earlier today. We're set for the final one with the best of the used tyres on every single car. Result of race number 3 set the grid for this one, and we're on towards turn number 1 here for the first lap. They settle in side by side with this rolling start. Jared Hughes, if you missed the coverage yesterday, sat out race number 2. They changed an engine overnight. So we jump in with Diesel Thomas. And here was Morris on the right-hand side with Brock Payne ahead. And Thomas with plenty of speed here with the Formula RX8 champion. Covers him off down here, and there's contact in the middle of the turn. That's Morris in the red and black Mustang. Somehow it all straightened out, Matty Cav.
That's exactly what we want to see. I saw Tom Davies in the background trying to come through too. It was very compacted, wasn't it, through turns number 1 and 2, and they're going to go side by side, Diesel Thomas and Paul Morris, probably the youngest and probably one of the most mature drivers in the racing here this weekend, side by side. And Thomas will have to relinquish that position there, and now Paul Morris will have Brock Payne in his sights, who's just in front in 4th position. I'm interested to see how Tracy's going to try and fight Joel Heinrich on this one. Webster, who has been a little bit quiet this weekend, just roaming around the mid-pack now, putting that 200 machine up the inside there of Diesel Thomas, who goes back another position. And I tell you what, pretty happy to see Crutch's car in all yellow this weekend after the abuse that went through at Queensland Raceway, but he's right in the thick of it now.
You'd never have thought that was a brand new car at Queensland Raceway. The spare parts truck went home quite light after the tag team enduro event up at Queensland Raceway. One of the TFH cars sweeping across the front of Crutch. It was Diesel Thomas carrying one of the in-car cameras.
Well, not a tough weekend for Frank Gartner and the Pitman Trucks entry number 22 as well, in the car just moving around a little bit, really trying to find that setup. Josh Thomas in front too, and he's had a tough weekend, but having a look at the front 3, they're very even when it comes around to the last lap times, and they're definitely standing out from the rest of the field, though. It's our top 3 who have been very, very quick, but Gartner needs to watch out, as we just seen in the background. Is that Danny Reedy behind him?
That would be.
Yeah.
Danny Orr moving.
So Gartner's just rolled back into 12th position as they start to move and approach on him. So he is struggling this weekend. Jared Hughes, well, he's just going lap for lap with Heinrich at the moment. You just see like Jared's a 10th faster, then Heinrich's a 10th faster each time they go around. And this is a replay, big
Robbie
brake
Farr.
lock up with the number 7, Robbie Farr. Yeah, that's going to hurt a tyre. A hurt Hoosie around there on the front right.
He's been working very hard at learning this track all weekend. Evan Hodson flew over from New Zealand, who's starring in the Super 2 series for Anderson Motorsport. He's learned a lot already this weekend. And for Evan, he had to learn the track himself before he could actually help with the setup of the car. Called in on some of his Speedway friends to help out as well. It's up towards the hairpin we go again with Diesel Thomas. So Mark Crutcher, here we go again. He's gone this time, and Crutcher loses it. I thought he was coming in a bit hot, and he's parked it up the top there. All that good work has dropped him outside the top 10.
Do you think he choreographs that? Because it always seems to be when we go to some sort of footage of Mark Crutcher late in the race, he does something spectacular.
Stage fright, perhaps. Yeah. He's on TV. Oh, he'll be kicking himself. That's a lot of positions to lose, and it's dropped him down to 14th on the track while the leaders are working their way down towards turn 3. So Blake Tracy, even though he's running 3rd at the moment, is on target to win the weekend. If Heinrich gets ahead of Hughes here, he will win the weekend. That's how close it is in the TA2 Muscle Car Series. Morris likely to win not only the Masters class, but finish 3rd for the weekend, the way it stands. Meanwhile, this is what it looked like from outside with Mark Crutcher. And again, it was like yesterday in that qualifying run. The rear starts to chatter, and around went the number 4. We saw it live from Diesel Thomas's car. Don't tell me these cars are easy to drive. The wheel worked through that sweeper. And in the end, an easy position gain for the teenager in the TFH Higher Mustang. Puts him up into position 7. Sweet sounds of these TA2 muscle cars rumbling around the Adelaide Plains this afternoon. Our final race of our coverage. They worked their way down Robbie Farr. We know he loves the dirt tracks, but he's been spending a bit more time out there than he wanted to in the Hi-Tec Oil Chevy Camaro car number 7. That puts him back into 14th position now, elevates Crutcher up 1 spot. So we come through to complete lap number 14. 3.5 minutes remaining. Well, I think it might be a bit for nothing here with Hughes leading. Heinrich wants to get past because a position here is going to make or break the round win. Now, if they tie, it'll go back to Blake Tracy because he's won more races over the weekend. So he needs Tracy to drop a position, but with 10 seconds back to Morris, he seems pretty safe at the moment back there in third.
They'll continue this battle on though. 3 minutes now remaining in this race as Heinrich got what it takes to take on Jared Hughes. We know at the start of the weekend, I would have said he probably does with the experience he's got around here, but it's going to come down to what's left in the tyre bank. Obviously, they've had to change that engine overnight, so that'll be, I'd likely say, a refreshed engine there in Jared Hughes' car as well. They'll be pretty happy with that. They've definitely got through those gremlins. And talking to Ashley Jarvis, I said, you've changed so much in the car, but do you know what it is? He goes, we don't care. We've just changed so much stuff all at once. He goes, and we're continuing to change things just in case.
They'll rip this car apart when it gets back to the base before the final round. But regardless, it's still done a killer job here to be in the top three and stay with Jared Hughes into another lap, looking out to the west of South Australia. Through the left-hander and back onto the long straight here at Mallala. 1:10.03, the quickest lap. And look at the lap times last time by, 0.003 of a second separating. To run at this place, lap after lap, and be separated by thousandths. Well, these two are just a class act, aren't they?
Especially considering we're on lap 15 at the moment, so to keep those times so close together after 15 laps, that's absolutely incredible. And a shout out to Jared Hughes, who came in under the weather this weekend. He's held it together. He looks a lot more sprightly today than he did yesterday, but he's not his usual self. You can really tell the attitude of him is when he got out of the car earlier. But having to work through that, he's got a big end of the season coming up.
He's sweated it out, that's for sure. He's going to be looking in that mirror as well as forward. Just want to go back and correct myself on what was the case. If there was a tie here, it's going to be the higher placed driver that will get the nod as Heinrich saves the greenskeeper some work and just does the edging of the racetrack at the exit of the final turn, but it actually didn't cost him too much time. Do you think he's just sitting back? Time's running out. It'll be a lap to go at the end of this.
Oh, I think those Hoosiers are holding on at the moment. I reckon that is right on the edge. And that's why we see him just go a little bit wide. He's wanting to keep the car nice and smooth. Brad Gartner retired by the looks of it. Oh, no. In front of his hometown as well. And he's got the family here this weekend.
Wow. That was a tough enough day for Gartner, but now it comes to zero for the 22 Hi-Tec Oils Chevy Camaro. But at the other end, it's going to be Blake Tracy, who's flying the flag in his first solo appearance. You can see the stranded 22 Chevy Camaro. Heinrich getting closer. He wants to give him a hurry up now into the S's. Closing stages. The clock's about to stop, which will indicate one remaining. And it's go time for Heinrich. 2.6 kilometres remain in the final race of TA2 Muscle Cars by Maritimo. Can Jared Hughes cover off Heinrich? The door's open enough. It closes on the exit of that left-hander. 3 chances remain.
He's stayed in the window, hasn't he, where he can take this opportunity to pounce on Jared Hughes in the final stages of this final race of the weekend. He didn't go as wide that time, Heinrich. This looks a lot more controlled. He's following Jared Hughes. Can he get the toe down here, down the back? How much does he have left? Where are the brakes going to really, are they going to hold on through this as we see the attitude of the car? The Camaro gets the nose down nice and heavy. Heinrich follows him in. And it's smooth through there. No one goes too wide.
Look at the teams. Ash Jarvis at the top, looking on to see whether his boy can kick it on home here today. And Hughes looks like he's covered him off with the S's remaining. It's been a thriller between these two. They've been trading fastest laps right from the green flag. And Jared Hughes holds back the pressure from Joel Heinrich and wins for the 8th time in 2025. By 0.3 of a second. And Blake Tracy, you know why he's celebrating? He's wins around aboard that Chevy Camaro, celebrating to the finish line. Paul Morris will be 4th at the end of the race and will stand on the podium in 3rd, but win the Masters class at this round. Tom Davies home for 7th, with Brock Payne, Josh Thomas Great recovery. That car was a bit asleep, I guess, at the start of the race, but got a top 10 result with Graham Cheney completing the 10. Fascinating between the front two as Cruncher takes the checkered flag in a race that probably could have been a 7th or a 6th place finish. But take your hat off to these two. They were separated by hundredths and sometimes thousands of a second, lap after lap. And Blake Tracy pulls up alongside. I'm sure Dad Mark is probably awake still. He's over in Greece at the moment. He watched the racing yesterday, but wishing he was probably here. Jared Hughes picks up the win. Heinrich second, but Blake Tracy is your round winner at this round of the TFH TA2 Muscle Car Series presented by Maritimo. Morris home for 4th and wins the Masters class from Josh Webster, Diesel Thomas, Tom Davies, Brock Payne, Josh Thomas and Graham Cheney scoring a top 10 result today after a troubled day on Saturday with Danny Reedy, Mark Cruncher, Robbie Farr. You got a feel for Brad Gartner, who finishes in 14th. And on the infield is out only DNF in the final race. What a weekend. We've loved our time back in South Australia. We've been looking forward to this event all year long at Mallala Motorsport Park. And it's delivered some cracking racing. You're looking at the man that's wrapped up this round of the TA2 Muscle Car Series by Maritimo. The top 3 is downstairs. We're heading that direction now. Here's Jared McLean.
Well, Blake Tracy, Matt Nolte's given it away. Congratulations, round win here at Mallala. How does it feel here in the Hi-Tec Oils TA2 Muscle Car?
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend coming into it. It was a big thank you to Lee Stibbs. On the Monday morning, we got the call that Lee was happy to swap. I was meant to be in the IRC car this week, and he put his hand up. And massive thank you to George Gambino and all the Waltech crew. My uncles have come up from Albury, and yeah, we've had a pretty cool weekend, learnt heaps, and yeah, really grateful.
Congratulations, mate. Soak it in.
Thanks, everyone.
And Joel Heinrich, P2 in that race, P2 for the round, challenging the championship leader for the win on the last lap. A pretty impressive debut.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame yesterday we couldn't show what true pace we had, but well done to Blake on the round win. And he fought me hard yesterday and this morning, so props to him. Hughesy, he was just sort of on another level early in the race then and just chipped away. And when I got to him, it sort of started the stutter again that we had yesterday, but nowhere near as bad. So gave him my all, had a crack at Hughesy, and just couldn't quite get there. So well done to him. Huge thanks to Ashley Jarvis Racing, all the crew. They worked tirelessly all weekend. The guys that made this weekend happen, Trevor from Sierra International, Glenn from ACE, Anthony from Creighton Works Co, Dad, those guys. Yeah, without that wouldn't happen.
The list is long. Terrific job. Well done.
No worries. Thank you.
Jared, congratulations, wrapping up 2 race wins, 2 pole awards. It's about as good as it really could have gone given the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's, well, we definitely made the most of today, come back from how yesterday went. We did a bit of a tune-up to the car for that one. Unfortunately, brakes didn't work. I think we made the car a little bit better, but still just got a bit of a gremlin we need to find in the brakes. But no, considering how it started, it's an awesome weekend. So I can't thank the whole team enough and the whole crew for everything that they've done. It's been a good last round for me this year. Unfortunately, not going to be at Winton, so very happy.
Congratulations. I know Heinrich took it right to you there in the dying stages of that race. How hard was it to fight him off?
Yeah, to be honest, through midway, I was like, I might just sit here and try and heat up his brakes and tyres. And then at the end, I'm like, I think I'm just heating mine up and his isn't getting any worse. So it's made it a bit spicy at the end there, but no, it was good. It was good fun.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Nail-biting finish there in the TA2 Muscle Car race number 4 to round out the weekend. Great to see Jared Hughes bounce back from what has been a tough weekend for him. It was super exciting to have all 5 categories here as we return national racing to Mallala. Here is round 5 of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. Of course, we've got one round where we're going to decide a whole heap of championships, 8 categories to get through in just a few weeks when we go there October 31 to November 4. It's the Winton Wrap. Make sure you join us for that. Check out all our socials at Super Series.
So hated.